So I went to Central Methodist University. It's a small school in Fayette, Missouri. So that's probably about 2.5 to 3 hours away from St. Louis.
Okay. And so
Hmm.
what was that? Did you stay on campus? Did you commute?
I stayed on campus. Stayed
You
on
stayed on
campus. Yep.
campus. How was that?
Hmm.
How was that campus like for you?
It was a definite culture shock.
Yeah,
Like I
really.
said, I'm coming
Oh,
from St.
right.
Louis, yeah,
Right, right.
where we predominantly black. So to go to a PWI, so a predominantly white
Yes, right.
university
Mhm,
in
mhm.
a very small rural city or town, it was a huge culture shock. It felt like I didn't know how to communicate with these people. I didn't know like their lifestyles. Like a lot of these people are coming from small areas where they graduated with a class of 15 people. I'm coming
Mm,
from one of the
wow.
biggest schools in St. Louis where our graduating class was a couple thousand. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So it was definitely a huge change for me. Uh,
It was an
it was
adjustment. How
adjustment for
yes, and
sure.
how well did you adjust? How so tell me how your adjustment look because, coming in as a freshman, coming in that space, how what are some of the ways that you adjusted?
It was tough at first. It was tough at first. I would call home and I'm just like, man, I just feel like nobody really understands me. Like even even from a communication standpoint, I'm talking with a little bit of Midwest slang or Midwest, accent. People like, hey, what are you saying? We don't understand this, and that. So I kind of felt alone at a time. However, with me having a basketball scholarship, being a part of the basketball organization, I was able to find brotherhood there. And
Yes.
then I was able to kind of grow and learn and, experiment and try new things that I wasn't used to.
What
And
you
then me,
experiment? What you
eh,
experiment? What you experiment?
I mean, just being in these small house
Uh-huh.
parties, these
Uh-huh.
people are doing different,
I'll be a
you
mess.
know,
No, but I'll be a
yeah,
mess.
yeah, yeah. I know, like playing these different games with people and just all of these different things that I'm like, we would never do this. Like
You not got you
even in
yeah,
St.
you were never
Louis,
used to that.
yeah,
Yeah.
even in St. Louis, when it came to like picking up girls and things like that, we would, hey, let me get your number, let me text you. These people didn't do that.
What they do?
It was straight social media or like Snapchat and things like that. So
Oh,
I'm like,
okay.
I don't even know how to talk to girls out here. Like, what's going on? So it was definitely a learning curve, a
Oh, it's a
huge
learning
learning curve.
curve, right.
Uh,
Yes, but I'm glad that you was able to, navigate through that. Did you find it to be, because I mean, were you always, a sociable person? Was you socially awkward? Like, how hard was it for you? Was it challenging for you?
I feel like St. Louis. I mean, I've always been sociable if I
You
know
knew
you.
right,
Yeah,
right.
I'm all about different comfort levels, but St. Louis sometimes I feel like it molds you to be isolated or be on your own or be this mysterious person. Like if you're just this talkative person, you're not as cool because people know everything about you. So
Mhm.
it kind of pushes you to like isolate yourself with your small group. Like you have a small set of friends, small group of friends, and that was it. So that's kind of the mindset I went into college with, like, hey, let me kind of be off to the side, just cool, nonchalant. But I learned in the real world that only takes you so far. The
Mhm, mhm.
coolest person in the room may be only subject to what he's subject to. He's not going to be able to grow, network, explore. And then it was also funny, like in St. Louis, with it being small, everybody is so infatuated on where you're from in St. Louis. Oh, you're from this side. That means you're
Oh,
tough.
yeah,
You're
yes,
if you're
yes.
from
Oh,
this
yeah, yeah.
side,
Mhm.
you're the best athlete. If you're from here or there. And then I went to college and they're like, oh, you from St. Louis? Cool. And then on to the next. They don't care any. It's people from 50 miles away from St. Louis claiming they're from St. Louis, and it's okay. So I'm like,
Yes,
wow, have
yes.
we been tricked? Like that is not as important as we really thought it
Right,
was.
because you know what it is? I think, to me, Will, I think it's all about diversity. I think they appreciate the diversity,
Hmm.
and I think
Exactly.
that's a good thing,
A
and,
hundred percent.
yes, and I think and I'm just kind of, giving my little perspective here. it also it speaks volumes because you were saying that you was in a PWI type of setting, and that and a lot of us. Oh goodness. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get into something here. Sorry, not sorry, y'all. Okay, so
Let's do it. Let's talk
us
about it.
as colored melanated individuals,
Mhm,
we tend to be so how should I say it? We tend to be so narrow minded when
mm,
it comes to diversifying in our cultures. Like we are the ones that have that divisive mindset.
mhm.
More like the stereotypical mindset, like you mentioned about, oh, you be from St. Louis, so you have to have this, or you have to be surrounded by that. You know, it's just that narrow mindset. But I think to me, when you are in a different setting among other people, among other groups of people, they are more receptive. You know,
Mhm.
that's how I see it. They're more receptive. You
Yeah,
know, to diversity. They appreciate more of where you come from, and they're able to kind of um, absorb whatever your culture has to offer. So
yeah,
they're not so tuned in about, oh, where you from or where you they're not influenced by that divisive nature. They have more of a united front when it comes to certain aspects. So
yeah.
that's just my take on that. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Nice.
think I think it's very environmental. Yep, just
Hmm.
based on your setting and what you see, like just in daily living. Because if you're if all you known is all right, these people from a couple blocks over, we don't like them. We don't even understand why we don't like them. We don't understand how we could come together. We just don't like them. That's just all you know. So you abide by the rules of the land, which is
Right.
sad. And that's why
Yes.
I push us to explore. Leave your hometown, even if it's for a short
Yes.
period of time. Go to college, stay on campus, just explore, because the things that you thought were normal are probably not normal. Not, I
Yes.
mean, majority of the time.
Hmm.
And you learn that when you put yourself out there, when you try new things, it just destroys a lot of your previous mindsets or
Yes, it does.
previous thoughts. Yeah.
And because when you remain, because that's called being sheltered. By the way, when you're
Mhm.
sheltered, and like I said, you have that narrow mindset. It kind of it creates a whole beast. It's a whole nother beast, that
It
it creates.
is.
Because when you we talk about culture shock, because when you are in that space, especially when you get into certain spaces at when you're older, oh yeah, that's hard. That's even harder.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, and it's like, when you reach a certain space in your life when you're older and you're so close minded to the idea of being different, or you're close minded to the idea of this could be, this approach could be different. It just could be kind of a dangerous territory. But
It
shout
is.
out to Tony Rebel. He's from St. Louis as well, so he's kind of
Okay.
agreeing with some of the things that we're talking about here. So shout out to him as well. He was
Shout
kind of
out to
agreeing
him.
with he was kind of agreeing to what we were saying about the adjustment phase and adjustment process. But what did you study? What was your major?
So going into college, like I said, sports was solely my mindset. I'm like, hey, I've been playing sports all my life. Because at this point, engineering was out of it. The
Okay.
school that I decided on, I ended up deciding on it based on that being a place for my scholarship. They didn't have engineering, so I said, okay, engineering is out, but I can't see myself outside of the realm of sports. So I initially, when I went to school for sports management.
Okay.
So I started off as sports management, and then I sat in that classroom with my other teammates, who a lot of them don't really care about education. They don't show up to class.
Mm,
Other like because the school is filled with a lot of athletes. It's like if you're an athlete, you're in choir or cheerleader or something like that, you come to this school unless you're like a local. This is not just a school that you like dream about going to. It's a school full of athletes. So I'm sitting in that classroom. Nobody's doing it. I'm studying. I'm doing study guides. Nobody is
right.
doing it. I'm like,
Mm,
is this what I really need to be doing? And then what really kicked the can over was when we had somebody visit us. She worked with a Major League Baseball team, and this is one of the top Major League Baseball teams at the time. She was a head of like entertainment, a head of a department, and she was just talking to us about her life and her job and everything. And then we asked her about her pay. We said, "Hey, can you be transparent with us?" And we just inquired about her salary. And at this time, I think it was roughly 2016, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm making 30,000 a year." With all of these responsibilities, she's able to set up
Mm.
this. She directs the commercials. She brings all the celebrities in and everything. She said she made $30,000 a year, and she was, and we, everybody was like took back from it.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
and she was like, "Oh, it's okay when you have a partner and this and that." We're in college. We don't have partners. We're out here surviving on our own.
Right, right.
So that was another huge shift in my mindset. I said, okay, it's already not, it's not fulfilling that part of me that wants to learn, that wants to be educated. And now the top of the top is getting paid that. I said, I can't, I gotta make a transition. So
Uh,
that's when I end up transitioning into nursing, even though it was always kind of in the back of my mind, but
yeah,
that
because
was
yes.
something that pushed me.
Yes, let's get into that. Yeah, what made your mind shift into nursing, especially because we've seen like I've seen like I think within the last I think 10 to 15 years I've been seeing more and more male nurses, which is so cool
Mhm.
to me. So
That's
I'm
great.
just
That's great.
wondering, like, yeah. So what made your mind shift into that?
So, like I said, it was always in the back of my mind because even growing up, I spent a lot of time with my grandparents as well, and I feel like the grandparents at that time, everybody stayed together. So
Okay.
my great grandmother stayed with my grandmother. Sometimes my uncles lived there. My
Mhm.
great aunt, my this and that. So I spent a lot of time with my grandparents as well. So always being that helping hand for my great grandmother, um, that instilled the value of helping others into me. And then, of course, as we talked about, just from a career growth standpoint, I knew that it was no ceiling for nurses. You can always
Oh yeah,
educate yourself
absolutely.
further. You can grow. You can transition. You can travel. So I knew that was working for him. And then also at that time when I broke my hand and I was kind of going through that
Yeah.
depressive stage, it
Hmm.
kind of like how like on Scooby Doo when they pull the mask off of
Yes.
the
Yes.
villain. That's what was going on from a sports standpoint for me. I saw the business aspect of it. I saw how sometimes in sports you're just a number. Like I hate to say it like that, but hey, I was promised all of these beautiful things,
Well, there's no
all of the
guarantees at all.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was promised all
Hmm.
of the shiny things, but then as soon as I was hurt, they threw
Oh.
me on the shelf.
Mhm.
It was like almost like I didn't
Damaged
exist.
goods. Damaged goods.
Damaged
Mhm,
goods. So I
mhm.
was like, hey, I have to um think about my future. Where am I going to have the stability and foundation that I want? And I knew healthcare was always a great space for that. So it
Wonderful.
was just all of those things kind of amount. Of course, I had great guidance from my parents, even though they weren't in healthcare per se. They knew who I was and they knew where my heart was. So they felt like
They
that
felt
would
that you was
be,
equipped. Mhm.
yeah, they felt like I was equipped. So they kind of also said, hey, we're going to leave this decision up to you, but we feel like that'll be a good area
That's
for you.
amazing, Will. But, I
Mhm.
have a question, on, 'cause I'm between, streaming on that Instagram Live, and so
Absolutely.
I have a question from your fellow, St. Louis, native. Tony Rebel asks, "Was SIUE a choice for him? They have the top nurse program in the region." What's
Okay. So
SIUE?
SIUE was
What's
always
that?
an
What's that?
option.
What's that?
That's
What's that for?
Southern Illinois, Eastern Illinois, something like that. Southern Illinois University. Um, So, but you got to think about it at that point, my mindset was solely on sports.
Okay.
So at that point,
Right.
Whoever was willing to give
Right.
me
You
a
take your
scholarship and
time.
pay for me
Right.
to come,
Right.
that's where I was going. So I had a lot of offers from Mizzou. I had Texas Southern. If I would have went
Okay.
to Texas Southern, I was going to pursue pharmacy. A lot of these
Mhm.
different options, and we explored the campus. We talked to the professors. We talked to the deans, and all of them were ready for me to come. But I just had that mindset like, hey, I want to be able to fulfill that goal that's kind of been burning in me since a kid. I want to be able to come back to the community and get praised. And because we looked up to the athletes that came back with all of their gear and
Yes.
they
Yes.
had their big college shirts on and everybody, hey,
Mhm.
how's college? How you doing? How's it? So we aspire to be those people. So I'm like, whoever's paying for me to go and play basketball, that's what I'm gonna
I'm
do.
right there. Yeah, so,
Mhm.
and thank you, good Mitch. It's, Edwardsville.
Yeah, yeah, it was
Yeah,
Edwardsville.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Thank you,
for
good
sure.
Mitch. Mhm. Yeah, so, yes, I know, like, and I just I see it, like, how you just your when your energy shifts when you talk about how you just want to continue to be the inspiration to others. And
Mm,
so yeah, I noticed the shift in your energy, when you talk about that. It's like that level of excitement that you give.
yeah, definitely.
I respect that so much. But let me ask you this. I want you to talk to someone here. Um Kind of speak from where you are right now to where he was. Can you talk to him? It's just kind of like give your voice to where you are right now to where he was back then.
Man, that was an emotional time for me because this was the point where I was at like maybe the tail end of my nursing program. And when I said the ups and downs of just being like, we understand that nursing is probably one of the hardest 4-year degrees. So just the trials and tribulations for that. Me being the first African American male to graduate my program
Get
ever.
out. It really is that right?
That's right. So
So
I
that's
think
a
my
you know
school,
what? Oh wait, hold on now because I don't want you to
can't
gloss
just brush
over that.
past
Yeah, I
that.
don't want you to go because that's a
Yeah,
Black History Month moment here.
absolutely.
Speak it one more time for me.
Yeah. So the
First,
first African American male to graduate my nursing program ever in school
yeah,
history.
that's Black History moment right there. You know,
Yep. And I think my school
just
was established in like,
mhm.
I don't know if it's 1906 or 1806, but hundreds of years at this point, and I was the first African American male to graduate the nursing program. So
Yeah,
it was always like, and I understood that. So I knew it was like a chip on my shoulder. And me also being the first male in my family, period, to ever graduate college, go to college and graduate.
yes,
I
yes.
was like, man. So me to get to that point, it was a very emotional time. But just looking back, I would I would just I would just tell him, man, you're on the right track. Keep being you, being your authentic, genuine self, and it's all gonna pay off.
Yes, and it remains stuck and it remained up and it's stuck from there.
Mhm.
Yes, yes. Will, I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. Yes. So going into that space, you getting out of the nursing program and you got your degree in
Mhm.
is BSN, correct?
Yeah,
BSN.
BSN. Yeah, Bachelor's in
Okay.
Science and Nursing.
Yes. So let me ask you, before you got out of that, now when you was in that program, you had to participate in like in a clinical side, like you did the clinicals, the internship.
Yep.
Can you give us more about that?
Okay.
What you had to
So
do.
I'm gonna give you some more background just on just the process
Oh yes,
in
please.
general. Yeah.
Hmm.
So you do the 2 years of undergrad, which is your prerequisites, which I did great in. It was, I always was focusing on school. And then we had to like apply to get into the program. We had to do things like the T's test. I did very well on the T's test and got accepted into the program. And just being at this time, I had dreadlocks. I
Ah,
was very, stylish, streetwear.
I'm
I
so glad
was,
you cut those off, Will. I'm so glad you cut them off. Yes.
I was the complete like opposite of what this program was used to. Like
Okay.
I felt like at times they even didn't know if I was serious. Cause I
Mm,
remember like when I was trying to get my schedule, they like, so you transitioning to nursing? I'm like, yeah. They like, that's one of the hardest degrees at this school. I'm like, yeah, I understand that. They like, are you sure? Like they kept asking me. So then it got to the point where I had to meet my advisors, and my appointments would constantly get canceled,
hmm,
canceled. Would
hmm.
constantly get canceled. And God, I didn't know what to do. I would reach out. I'm talking to home, trying to get guidance. I'm one of the first people to actually go to college, and nobody can really give me guidance. They just say,
Yes. Mm.
persevere, just keep going. Don't let anything
Wow.
hold you back. So then I remember after maybe about a year, I finally met with my advisor. They just gave me my schedule. Like, this is your schedule. Just kind of figure it out.
Figure it out.
And I did.
Yeah.
So then I finally met
Mm,
my advisor, and we went over my transcript, and they were in awe. They like,
mm.
wow,
Yeah,
like your
yes,
GPA is so high. This
yes.
is how is this possible? How are you able to do this? And then when I hate that it happened like that, because it was a great program. Don't get me wrong. Of course, sometimes you have some bad apples in the bunch, but when they saw that it was kind of bigger than me, bro, they were full steam ahead. They were like, bro, whatever we got to do, even though I was already committed myself, we gonna make sure you get to the finish line, just to,
Wonderful.
yeah,
Yeah, so
influence
you know
and
what?
help people
Yeah.
going forward.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so I could see, okay, so now I can see why your energy is so, so shifted on you, inspiring others, and,
Mhm.
being able to be in that space to just kinda, take something with you because of what you
Mhm.
said about that whole generic speech about, here you will go, well, live long and prosper, so it's like, they just kind of, do you to the wolves, so to speak. So now I see
Yeah.
why you want to, present yourself in a different way
Different fact.
towards others.
Yeah.
So I get that. So yeah, thank you for that. But I also want to
Yeah.
let me
On the
share some
clinical side.
yes, I want to share some comments
Oh, okay.
with
Okay.
you from Instagram Live. She's Good Mitch said that's so amazing. He really did beat the odds. So I just want to share that with you.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you,
Yeah,
Mitch.
they're loving on you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So on the clinical, get back to the clinical
Yes.
side.
Yes. Mhm.
Um, Going into the nursing program, I didn't really know what it consisted of. I didn't even know what clinicals were. I was still kind of in and out with with basketball as well. Shout out to my coaches at that time. They they were very they were great. So because the nursing program requires so much from me. So
Mhm.
it had got to a point where I was like, hey, I'm about to give up basketball because I'm pursuing nursing. And they were like, hey, you don't have to. You can, whenever you're available, come. But if not, do
Mm.
what you need to do. Looking back, it's because I was making the team GPA look good. But
Yeah.
I
It
that's neither
wa
here
hey,
nor
one
there.
ear wash the other.
What- yeah, so I didn't really even understand like the clinical aspect or what it would consist of. So I just kind of, like you said, got thrown to the wolves, and I had to figure it out as I went. And then after being in the clinical setting, I was really focused on psych. I'm like, I think psych is a space because growing up and coming from the environment I come from, I started to understand that these people that we label as crazy, or they have all of these different issues, is based or rooted in a psychiatric diagnosis.
Mm,
So
yes.
I said it's going to be so important that the people from where I'm from are able to seek guidance or seek these resources,
Yes.
because they're suffering internally. So I was really kind of set on psych leaving the nursing program. But I kind of was veered away from that initially because other nurses that had experience in the setting, they understood that if you go the psych route, it's a beautiful route, don't get me wrong. However, it will kind of box you
It
in
would
as a
drain
nurse.
you. It would
it,
drain
it,
you.
would, it would drain you and then box you in as a
Yeah.
nurse on the clinical skill set side,
Okay.
because
Mm,
these usually, when people are in psychiatric crisis, they are medically stable. However, they just have a chemical or emotional
imbalance.
imbalance.
Mhm.
Exactly. So you're not dealing with IVs or IV medication or antibiotics or ventilators, all of these different skillful things that you need as a nurse. So if you go that route initially, it'll be hard to get back into the skillful clinical side.
So you want to get more into a wide range, an array of
Array,
different skill
or
sets.
just to have the ability to try different things, or
Yes.
hey, let me explore in the ICU, let me explore in surgery, let me do these different things, but I know those are skill heavy, skill based specialties, so you have to have that skill set to be able to make that transition.